Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Eddie Draws. Today I'm going to be painting Vex. She's a Warhammer 40k commission, which was quite a change for me, so really excited to show you how I got to the finished piece. I'd just like to thank everyone on Patreon, again, Alex, John, Dezact and Shannon, thank you always. So, I think today I'm just going to start and talk from a script that I've got. So I want to start by talking about confidence in painting. I realise a lot of the time it might look like I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I change parts of my painting process every time I paint, and the results are different each time too. Partly because I still haven't really landed on anything I like. I don't know whether I want a smooth and clean look, textured or painterly look, or a mix of the two, which is kind of what I tried to do here. Lately, I've been working on lots and lots of different things, which is different styles and different ways of painting. For example, I'm doing Orbo at the moment, this video game, which is taking up a lot of my time, which is why I've been quite quiet. But yeah, it's kind of all over the place, and I've been really searching for a way of painting that suits me, and I think I'm getting there slowly. Overall, I'm really happy with this design, but there's still a lot to improve. I want to have the finish be more confident and deliberate. Rather than building up to the work, I wanted to show that it was what I intended for it to look like from step one. And that's all about painting with confidence. The references I'm showing, Cedric Peravennet and Sergei Kolosov from the Dishonored series, most notably, they paint this way impeccably. And I think it's clear that I use these references in the painting. Because confidence is their bread and butter, and for me, I struggle to grip confidence from the beginning. Before I explain what confidence means to me as a painter, I think I need to introduce an analogy. So imagine you fixing a car, and to get it running, you need to put all the parts together. Well, you do that in whatever way you know how right at the start, and it runs, but you want it to run a little better. Now, you might want to fiddle with each part individually and mess around for the next 20 years, but a logical approach might be to disassemble the car entirely, right down to the paint. Understand how each part works. You study each component as closely as possible, and once you feel you understand each part in its component form, you begin assembly, and each time you put a part together, you understand the interaction between those two parts closely. I think it becomes more and more complex until the point where you can no longer understand the system as a whole, and you just have to trust that your previous knowledge is not going to change. Eventually the car will be rebuilt, and hopefully, if you've understood everything correctly and optimized everything in the best way you know, it'll run really smooth. Confidence, to me, is trusting that you've worked in a logical, methodical, and ultimately productive manner. Unfortunately with painting, there's no real payoff, like hearing an engine rev up. It's all illusions, and the greatest problem is almost a missing link between what you see and what in your head versus what is happening on the canvas. It has two dimensions, the possibilities and the feasibilities. The feasibilities are just a technical solution. Once your skill improved, the gap closes. You can physically paint what you intend to more accurately. But the problem of what is possible becomes deeper and deeper as you learn more. You can play with lighting, perspective, tone, colour, gesture, theme, play with emotions and contrast. Every aspect of visual life can be toyed with. It's a great adage, the more you know, the more you realise you don't know. And that paradox is really frustrating for me. Because I become confident in undulating waves. Just as I feel I've grasped something definitively, it slips further down that rabbit hole and interacts with other things, becoming complex and a different problem yet again. For me, it's not just a painting problem, but also a life problem. I like to think things through a lot, and I don't want to start turning the key and revving my engine too soon, because I'm still trying to assemble the problem correctly in my head. Painting has taught me a lot beyond just making images, and the best lesson of all, for me, is to step back from the details and objectively view a problem in its component parts. So that's kind of my ramble for the month, talking about mostly how to assemble problems correctly and not acting on those problems until you're ready. I hope you're all well, staying safe and keeping positive. Keep at it, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.